Okay. Hello, friends. Today we have with us Anant. Anant has done his bachelor's in engineering from Sanghvi College under Mumbai University. He's pursuing mechanical engineering. He's worked 1 year with IIT Madras in research and is now working as a research fellow with IIT Bombay. Let us hear more from Anant. Anant, please tell us about your academic history and your current work profile.
Okay, I started this mechanical engineering course from Sanghvi College of Engineering in 2013. In
Okay.
that, essentially, I was more keen on pursuing research, and therefore I pursued a few research projects like remote control plane modeling, designing a Formula One style race car, which is called as Formula Student. And then in my final year,
Okay.
I wanted to actually find a very core industrial knowledge of my skills and the industrial application of my skills and knowledge. So I pursued a
Okay.
BA RC project, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and there I did this
Okay.
project of it was more of nuclear engineering related, but with the concepts and essentials of mechanical engineering.
Okay, so after 12th, you took the BE course in which you took mechanical engineering as a specialization.
Correct.
So, can you tell us in brief what does mechanical engineering teach a student?
There are essentially around 6 to 7 areas where
Okay.
as core areas of mechanical engineering, I would say
Right.
core courses or core areas. So first area is structures and mechanics. So
Okay.
application ranges from suspension bridge to an automotive chassis or an aircraft shuttle, spacecraft
Okay.
shuttle. Then you have multi-body dynamics, where you actually study the mechanism or the interaction between two elements or a system. You study the interaction within a system. For example, a slider crank mechanism, which is a mechanism of an IC engine, or you do extensive study of mechanisms like you handle how body one body interacts with the other. This is multi-body dynamics. So there are subjects
Right.
like theory of machines which will teach you this, will give you some
Right.
knowledge. And then you have thermal is one of the most important areas of mechanical engineering. You actually analyze and study fluid flows. So now fluid includes flow of liquids as well as flow of gases. So you will have subjects like thermodynamics, heat transfer, fluid mechanics. You will have utility systems such as design of pumps, compressors, and you will have design of a refrigeration system. So these are more thermal related subjects. Then you have subjects like mechatronics and robotics,
Okay.
wherein you will have these are essentially included to automate a particular operation, say in a factory or an industry. Then you have
Right.
subject of manufacturing of materials, where you actually study a manufacturing processes. So manufacturing is essentially required everywhere, from our indoors to outdoors. You any material you come across, anything you come across, there is a history of some manufacturing related to it. So mechanical engineer has to study that. Even in fluid flow, in every domain rather, manufacturing and materials are included. So study of materials,
So,
like how, like their properties with temperature, their how you can create alloys, that is material. And manufacturing is how do you carry out certain process or some operation so that you can make an usable product out of it. Then there are non-core courses, like these are not core courses, like industrial engineering and operations research, wherein actually you try to say you do some optimization processes. Like for example, you're running a factory and you have to make maximum profit, and there are some inevitable losses, like say wastage of material, and then there is some
right.
inefficiencies in your processes. So despite that, you're doing some optimization, but this is not core. But and this is some more or less, I would say, management related courses. And there is this design courses. Anything has to be designed, like for it to be, you know uh, stable or anything. So these are design courses, like you'll have to design. It includes from pulleys or any system like engine or any type of rotating machinery design. That is all mechanical engineering deals about.
Okay, all right. So mechanical engineering deals with manufacturing, but we also have production engineering. So
Yes.
both are separate, or they
Production
are similar
engineering
to each other?
and mechanical engineering have manufacturing in common. Production engineering, however, later focuses onto some industrial engineering and aspects which I mentioned, which is non-core part of mechanical engineering. So over there, that
Okay,
is a core part.
okay, fine. So mechanical engineering is broadly concerning with machines like cars or planes,
Yeah,
and
that is one
with
application.
thermal.
Yeah, other than that,
Okay,
in many heat exchangers are also there. Some
okay,
propelling devices. It is a very generalized field of engineering. So you can actually have mechatronics and robotics, as I said. So you can combine electronics and mechanical system and come up with some automated workstations or something like that.
so once you study mechanical engineering, where do you apply these skills? What are the broad areas where a student will apply his knowledge of mechanical engineering
Okay.
once he gets out of his college?
Mechanical engineering uh, has a lot of areas where one can actually apply his skills. Like if, but the student has to be particularly sure of which area he is interested in. Like I said, structures, multi-body dynamics, thermal, all these areas. He has to clear him. Like if he is really interested to work in the technical field, he must
Hmm.
he must come up with exposure, or I mean to choose these areas, like, and then he can decide which field he has to work in. So if he chooses, say for example, thermal, which I have chosen, thermal is my area of specialization. So my
Okay.
my skills, or other I thermal essentially involves study of fluid flows, so, and variation of properties, thermodynamics, heat transfer, and I can actually, my knowledge, or rather I can apply my skills to across industries, I would say. Now like my current project is more or less like plasma simulation, which is
Okay.
yeah, it's a fourth state of matter, getting technical. So it's a fourth state of matter, and I'm actually using the concepts of fluid flows and thermodynamics to actually simulate this entire thing. Apart from this, one can actually simulate the flow of blood inside vessels also, using the knowledge of fluid mechanics. You,
Okay.
even for PC cooling, the heat that your PC generates, the computer,
Hmm.
to the cooling system
Right.
for that, for even supercomputers and servers, can be solved. These problems can be solved using thermal fluid mechanics. So you can see the
Okay.
versatility of applications these fields have. Similarly, structures and mechanics, I would say, domains such as high-rise buildings, which have to deal with interaction, interaction with waves and variation in pressures at high, say, which is like around 100 meters high.
Right.
So the stability of these structures. Apart from this, the structures can be at the same time applied to automotive chassis, aerospace, spacecraft shuttles, make them vibration resistant or something. So
Okay.
these all fields of mechanical engineering essentially have a wide range of application, and it can be applied across industries. So that is nothing to be worried about. Like there's a lot of application and scope rather.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So now, which are the good institutes to learn mechanical engineering for a
Placement
student?
wise, I would from the point of placements, IIT's NIT, in NIT, this NIT Trichy, Warangal and Surathkal are IITs. IIT Delhi, Mumbai, Madras, Kharagpur are essentially old ones. Uh,
Okay.
these actually are very good from the point of placements in mechanical.
Okay.
And College
Okay.
of Engineering Pune also equally stands out in placements. But if the student is keen on pursuing higher education, so his essentially his
Right.
grade or score matters in during the 8 semesters of engineering, and as well as how much he has contributed towards gaining a perspective in his field, which I've mentioned, like structures, multi-body dynamics, thermal. So that actually matters for placement. IITs, the four old IITs, Delhi, Mumbai, Madras and Kharagpur, NITs Trichy, Warangal and Surathkal, COEP, are like quite good for placements.
Okay. Fine. So this getting perspective in your field. How will a student get perspective in his field? How,
Yeah.
how do you
Student will
recommend that?
gain perspective essentially by sincerely studying the core courses in his curriculum and finding
Okay.
opportunities where he can apply his knowledge. After all, he has to identify problem statements around him essentially, and he has to try to see how far he can apply his knowledge to that. Then he will understand
Okay, but
what.
these will be at internships,
Yeah, internships
or
only.
where will you
For
apply?
example, in my first second year, it was when I had studied thermodynamics and
Hmm.
material sciences and mechanical engineering, and I had
Hmm.
to come up with a design of an incinerator because there was this uh, people were burning waste in an open area. So
Right.
we had four of us had a group project for a village where they used to burn waste in a very unorganized manner. So we came up with the design of an incinerator. So just to
Okay.
attack some common problems. So that incinerator will essentially burn it in a very organized manner. The smoke gases can be disposed of very neatly so that they won't harm the entire village or something. So
Okay. So basically, you have to look for internship opportunities
you have to
during your
essentially
4 years of
opportunities where
engineering.
you can actually start applying your knowledge. Every college has some workshops and internal
Okay.
projects going on, like I said my Formula 1 style race car project. So over there we actually had to design a Formula 1 style race car. So that will essentially involve some computer aided designs, simulations, which are a part of mechanical engineering.
Right.
So one student must be very much proactive to take part in such events. So that will actually push and motivate him to choose some kind of field. It'll at least give him some idea of all the fields, I would say, so that he can decide later which he has to specialize in.
Okay. Fine. Now, a student who wants to take up mechanical engineering, what will be the admission and the entrance procedures and requirements that he has to go through?
Okay, as far as I know, for Mumbai University, it is CET based admissions are granted or given. In Mumbai
Okay.
University, the highest cutoff is for mechanical engineering, but that's not the case
Right.
for even for COEP. The highest cutoff goes for mechanical engineering. Mumbai
Okay.
University, SPCE, VJTI, COEP, all these have highest
Okay.
cutoff for mechanical engineering. But for IITs and NITs, essentially the highest cutoff goes for computers. So
Okay.
for securing mechanical engineering in IIT Bombay, in his JE Advance, a student must attempt his JE Advance exam, the JE Advance exam, where he'll
Okay.
have to score around
Okay.
all India rank should be around 300, 200 to
Okay.
300. That's enough to
Okay.
get him into mechanical engineering.
Now, what other fields of engineering do we have apart from mechanical engineering and computers, which you mentioned?
Okay, computers first, then a specialization of computers, that is information technology.
Okay.
That is one data, that is like how you handle your data generated from any process. Then you have in electronics, y- core course is electronics, and there's one more course offered
Okay.
in Mumbai University is called as electronics and telecommunication. So electronics essentially will deal with the semiconductors, flow of current. They'll basically through electrical circuit, different types of electrical circuits. Person who's very good in electrostatics, electrodynamics, it's a very good field for that for them.
Right.
Electronics and EXTC, that is electronics and telecommunication, will have a specialization in telecommunication in the fourth year. So they won't have electronics subject. They will focus more on telecommunication. Telecommunication is basically mobile to mobile, this wireless communication that, like for example, Bluetooth, advanced Bluetooth modes we have. So
Right.
that is a
Right.
telecommunication, but it essentially deals with satellite communication, but biomedical engineering. That
Okay. But
yeah, that is more of clinical instrument design and study of clinical instruments as well as medicines. The
and you have chemical also.
chemical.
Okay, fine. So, depending on which field of specialization we are taking, do we have to take specific subjects in 11th and 12th?
No, no, no. That is not actually a requirement, but actually it is more or less you can actually, students have a chance to gauge themselves like right in the 11th 12th, because students who are attempting JEE mains, essentially the syllabus is so extensive that physics itself is divided into mechanics, electrodynamics, electrostatics, chemistry is divided into physical, inorganic, organic, and maths is a huge domain which is applicable in both physics and mathematics. So student
Okay.
knows where his strong area is, so he will have little bit of idea. Okay, I have to choose say chemical engineering because I'm good in reactions, I'm good in say fluids, understanding fluid flows.
Right.
So he knows, I
Right.
mean he will have some basic idea.
But if you've dropped, for example, biology, and then you can take biomedical engineering, or you cannot take.
You can take, but he will have to do more. But person who's not sure about what to pursue, I would recommend him not to drop bio and in 12.
Right.
If he's like not sure whether he has to pursue engineering or not, it's advisable that he continues. But if a student is very much sure that he has to do engineering, and it is which engineer, I mean, and he can rather, if he's interested into these branches where bio is not required, rather he must
Right.
surely drop biology. If he's little bit unsure which branch of engineering
Right.
is to be
So,
chosen, he can go with bio.
right. So your point is it helps studying the subjects in 11th and 12th to get an
Yeah, a
idea
brief
how
notion
good
rather,
or
I
how
would
you
say.
like it.
Yeah, brief notion.
Right.
But at the
Okay.
same time, one tip or rather one suggestion to students is that if they think mechanical engineering or rather any stream of engineering
Right.
is say to get away with computers or to get away with coding, that is not the case.
Okay.
Computer is a skill.
Okay.
Computer programming or programming languages are a skill which will be very much useful at a later stage in engineering to automate your entire set of calculations, because processor can perform these calculations at a tremendous speed than hand.
Okay.
So it is so any branch of engineering, say from chemical, EXTC, everything has to do with some or even in mechanical, you have to do some or the other amount of programming to automate your work.
Okay. Okay. So you cannot escape programming. That is
Yeah,
necessary
at a
as a part
later
of
stage it is
engineering.
very much necessary. If you just want to do design some CAD model or something based on some uh, design constraints or something, then it's okay, then you won't require programming. But if you're doing some analysis of say some process, programming is, you need to have an idea of what programming is. For your higher studies,
Okay.
for
Fine.
example, if he plans to pursue his higher studies, programming is very much necessary, even to study his experimental data. Or if he's into simulations like me, programming is much necessary. There's no end to, I mean, there's no escape from programming in simulations. But if he's doing experimental part in mechanical engineering to analyze or model his data, he will need some programming techniques.
Okay. Coming to higher studies, which you mentioned. So after completing a graduation in BE, what options does the student have? Like you started doing research.
Yeah.
So is it would a student
So
go
these
for
essentially these
for
sub
working, or will
courses
he go
that I
for?
mentioned, structures, mechanics, these are the options like for higher studies. Thermal, for even thermal will divide itself into many branches itself. So
Right.
if a student is sure, okay, I have to pursue say structures, so now this will have around say 5 to 10 branches, say finite element method, design, tremendous amount of applications are there in these structures, like from automotive to aerospace. There will be very specific problem statements which he will have to attack during his post graduation. So essentially
Right.
he has to come up with these sub domains of mechanical engineering, like to be.
So your master's level, basically in one of your subdomains, you will do a master's in engineering.
Yeah, correct, that is
Right.
yes, there will be a
And for
problem
doing
statement
masters,
relating to these field domains.
okay.
Yeah, problem statement is, for example, I'll tell you the problem statement of my project. That is the aim of the project. Like my current project is numerical simulation of arc plasma in arc heated wind tunnels. So every
Completing
master's
bachelor's.
thesis oriented masters, where one has to write a
Okay.
thesis or of his, like what he has learned or other about his project. If someone is doing project, he will have to write a thesis. So these thesis, the problem statement of this thesis or the research work that he'll be doing, in this project, in any project for his master. During his masters, the student has a project to submit at that in his last semester,
Right.
second last and last. So essentially, this project will have a problem statement. If you're going for post graduation, it is research itself. If someone is
Okay.
pursuing research, it does not mean that he will have to enter into academics. He can
Okay.
apply or start his own consultancy to industries, using
Right.
some some research, or rather incorporating every industry has a set of problem statements which they do not have technical knowledge about, so
Right.
he can actually consult them. So from that point of view, but if
Okay.
some and that he can do only when he is very much clear with the core of the subject. So someone who's not
Right.
clear with the core of the subject, I mean, someone who's not interested in core, say after second or third year of engineering, he realizes that I'm not okay, mechanical engineering is not my cup of tea. Then essentially he targets these management sectors and MBA, business related. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So after doing a bachelor's, you either go for master's in engineering or you go for a master's in business administration.
MBA, or even there are management courses that like say industrial engineering is one master management course. So
Right.
it is offered in across universities abroad. So it is essentially management, supply chain management, project management. It is basically how do you manage your resources.
And for masters in engineering, you have good options in India or you have to go abroad.
In if you're doing masters, say in from India, then you have quite a good jobs over here in like technical R&D domain. Like Mercedes Benz is there, Volvo is there. In many companies are there. You like these are automotive. I said like in aerospace domain you have this HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Then you have Boeing, GE. So after doing MTech,
So these are companies, but when you're studying for masters, which colleges you have to apply to? There are good colleges in India for studying masters.
yeah. From that's what I said. IITs is the
Okay.
only best
Okay.
option
Okay.
for BTech. IITs and NITs and COEP I would consider for. But if person wants to do an MTech, only
Right.
IITs. On that too, only the
Okay.
top four. I mean, there you don't have to worry about your entire career. Like your career is quite sorted. I
Okay.
mean, you do have a
Okay.
chance
Fine.
of being placed, or other. You have very much good recommendations for pursuing PhDs or something.
Okay.
So you will end
Okay.
up. I mean, every like the scene is very quite comfortable in IIT. These four IITs. Otherwise, elsewhere it is little bit of yet new IITs are yet being developed. So I wouldn't recommend. The labs are not yet completely developed. These four IITs have been running are in operations since say more than 60 or 70 years now. So
Right.
yeah, so
Right.
and all the labs
Okay.
have been very much developed, and alumni, they have very good alumni like who actually for example, you would be continuing your seniors problem statement, so you will have everything in your hand, say at the first year of your MTech, his thesis, his research work, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. From research point of view, it's very comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Great. Okay. I think Anand, that was fantastic. Any your last word which you would like to give to students who want to pursue mechanical engineering,
Okay. I mean,
or any advice you
yeah,
think that
just
could
like
help
I
them?
would rather suggest them don't go about the field as it is called as the evergreen field, that there are a lot of opportunities. Please understand that essentially there is a lot of technical research, or rather you will have to go across core courses as well. For keep that in mind, or rather have a clear idea of what you're choosing and why you're choosing. And rather there is no escape from computer, as I said, programming in mechanical also, unless you want to rather go for say just design, or rather CAD designing or something, which is very very much clerical rather. But if you are not going into analysis or something, then you might not require programming. But if you have to specialize, do some MTech or higher studies, programming is very much required. And thirdly, I would like to say that understand the concepts, understand the mathematics behind mechanical engineering. You have 4 semesters of maths. you don't try to get away with maths. It's maths will be applied everywhere, even at your higher stages of education.
Thank you so much, Anant. That was fantastic.
Yeah, my pleasure. If anyone still needs guidance, yeah, you can definitely. I'll be there.
Okay, great. Wonderful.